My name is Christopher Arndt. I'm the owner of the Camera Center of York. When I was in high school, I seemed to carry a camera around with me all the time. Was never really on the yearbook club or anything like that. I just liked taking pictures. And then early on, my grandparents, I worked for them in a shop, and I met a guy that said, hey, they're looking for a guy in the Carlisle area to manage a shop. And this was, oh gosh, this was probably 40 years ago. And I went up and interviewed, and the rest is history. I've been doing this ever since. When it was back into the 90s, 80s and 90s, film was pretty much all you had. And then about 2002, digital started happening, and people kind of migrated away from film. Of course, everybody has a phone with them today. So more pictures have been taken in this era than any. Now that digital's gotten to the point where everything looks very much the same. My digital looks like your digital, looks like everybody else's digital. So it's gotten very clean, very sterile. So people want an image that looks different than everybody else's. They want something that has a little bit of character, something that that renders better. So they're going back to film. The older generation seems to, that get into digital, have stuck with digital. It seems like the younger crew has gotten into the older cameras. Basically, I've got a large piece right here. Pretty much, you have your lens in the front, which kind of goes. There would be a board with a hole in it, and the lens would sit right here. That projects into a dark area and projects it onto the back of where a ground glass would be, and that's where you do your focusing. And then you pretty much take a plate and stick it down into the slot here, and that's where your film sits, and that's what captures your image. Newer lenses that fit that same type of camera actually had a shutter. So you would cock the shutter, and then when you're ready to take the picture, you just snapped it, and it would open and close without having to use a cap. The same principles apply to 35mm cameras, in that you have the lens on the front as well. Your film would be where the image is captured, and you just run one frame to the next, and when it's finished, you just develop it. On the development end, your film has to go through a development process. It has to go through a developer, bleach, fixer, stabilizer, which rinses all the chemistry out of it through a dryer, and then it has to be projected down onto paper so that you get a print. Now, today's world, we can actually scan the images in and send them to you, and then you do whatever you want artistically. We would take a roll of film. We have to pull the leader out. All right, so that pulls the leader back out. We have to cut it off. We grab a leader card, a piece of tape. We tape the leader card to the film. We have to give it a twin check number. That way we know who the film belongs to. So then from this point, this gets loaded into here. And then when we shut the lid, the machine will actually pull that into the developer, and there's racks in there. Basically the film will go down into a developing tank, takes a U-turn, comes up, crosses over into a bleach tank, goes down, crosses into a fixer tank. So it just kind of goes up and down through the machine. And then once it gets to that longer part in the back, that's the dryer. So it goes down in the bottom of the dryer and then comes out through the top into that sorting bin. And then because it has a number on it, once it's dry, we can actually put it over here onto the rack and then it goes through this machine over here to have the negative scanned in. Film just handles light differently than digital does. And that's what gives you that different look. You're capturing a time in history, I believe. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks.